Welcome to another episode of the Lovers and Things podcast,
where your favorite couple's favorite couple
talks about the things they love.
I'm Greg.
And I am Lex. Welcome back, guys.
Oh boy.
You're not gonna get tired of this, are you? We're just getting started.
It's just that energy and that performance.
Thank you.
It truly casts like an eclipse, a solar eclipse, if you will. It casts a massive shadow over me.
No, it does not. No, it does not. No way, not true.
Okay, that's what they all say.
I think it sets the stage for what is going to be a fantastic episode.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So how you been?
I've been good. I've been good. This week was a lot, but I'm good. I like to think I made it through the week, and that's all you can ask for. It was a busy week in terms of work, and so it kind of had me, off kilter a little bit in terms of a little shooketh. But I'm all right. I made it here to us recording, and that's just a part of life. But I think I am doing well. I got back with my trainer. I hadn't seen her in like 2 weeks. Because of, the travel and then me being busy with work. Like, I just have not seen her. So I saw her in person for the first time in a long time. Got to do some deadlifts and all that kind of stuff. I felt real good.
Yeah, you felt strong.
I felt strong.
That core was solid.
The core is getting there. But,
we'll
we're step by stepping it. But no, I'm in good spirits. What about you?
Oh, I'm good. I was on Instagram and Usher posted this promo for his a new music video, a new song he has called "Daddy's Little Girl."
Oh, and Usher don't have a daughter.
He don't got a daughter?
I don't think he do.
He was playing with some baby. I thought it was his daughter. The baby looks just like him.
Oh, he did get married again. Maybe he does have a daughter with the new wife. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So, but the takeaway from this video, it's a great song and all that. The video looks lovely. The takeaway for me was his waves.
Bye.
and it lit a fire under me because I'm from the wave era, the 360 waves era.
Indeed, we are.
And this was when I was deep in the waves bag, like product, stocking cap, religiously.
I remember you had that little wave
juice
pomade.
Grease.
No, it was a pomade. What was it? Sportin' Waves.
Sportin' Waves.
It was called Sportin' Waves.
No G at the end.
Yeah, Sportin'
Apostrophe.
Waves.
And apostrophe waves. It was
I
so
remember that.
urban.
Yeah.
But I was deep in that bag, and the results kind of reflected that.
Yeah.
Them waves was spinning.
Yeah.
And then I got a little bit older, and I realized I skipped a week.
Yep.
And then the waves were still there. I was like, wait a minute, I don't need all this stuff.
Okay.
The waves just do their thing.
Sure.
So when's the last time you see me wear any stocking cap?
Oh, you don't wear.
I haven't done that in probably 10 years.
Yeah, at least 10 years.
Well, I have the wave of the peacock hair.
Yeah, let's also take into consideration you had
hair.
very high haircuts for a while.
Yeah, but then for the most part, when I returned to the brush cut, never dipped into that. And even for our wedding, my hair was probably was the best haircut I've ever had in my life.
That was a great haircut. Who did that haircut?
Q.
Q did that?
Q be holding me down.
Yo, Q Vester did that.
Yeah, so that was, and no product.
Yeah.
Just regular hair.
Yeah.
But after seeing what Usher had on display, I felt threatened.
It put the pressure on.
The pressure is on.
I feel that.
And I was like, yo, I might have to get back into that. I might have to get back into the product game. So that's kind of the mood I've been on.
Okay, very good.
It's more of like a vengeance mood. So I had to come back. And I'm going to try to get back into my crisp wave bag. I'm coming back for it.
Oh, I'm excited for you. Well, I'm product queen. So if you ever want a product for waves or moisturized scalp, at least, I'm here to help.
Oh, I'm pulling out all the cards. I am not taking any prisoners.
Very exciting.
So this is the important thing in my life.
Yeah, that's the highlight of the week. Is the fact that you're
no,
no,
is getting back wavy.
Good for you, hun. I support it. You know what else we should talk about?
Mm.
Since it's officially February.
Mm.
Happy Black History Month, y'all.
Yeah.
To the melanated community, Happy Black History Month. It's our moment. Our moment to reflect on our history and all the amazing things that happened throughout the diaspora, but specifically the African American experience. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But also at the top of the month is we have to see what the Groundhogs is up to. And I think we should chat about this because you guys know we have Fatback, our personal on-property groundhog. I haven't seen him in a minute, but I assume we should see something in the coming weeks.
We haven't seen him in a while.
We haven't seen him in a while.
I think he was off working the Groundhog Day festival.
You think he was at the event?
I think he's Puxatawny Phil.
You think our Fatback is Puxatawny Phil?
Fatback is Puxatawny Phil.
No. You think we got that lucky?
It's not luck. I think that's him.
You think that's him? Our Fatback is the Puxatawny Phil.
Or they. I'm sorry.
Or they, them. You know, I mean, whatever you feel like.
They, them.
They, thems. It's fine.
There.
Yeah.
Was manning the Groundhog Day.
And you know, I wouldn't be surprised by that because there's something about Fatback that gives me regal. Ooh. I'm be honest. There's something, the way he just be laying about in the backyard,
confidence.
Eating up confidence. He ain't never been shook by us.
You know, Puxatawny Phil is 137 years old.
Really?
I didn't know they could live that long.
No, they don't live that long.
But he's 137.
No, that's what they're telling us. They're telling us what they think. No animal lives 137 years.
I mean, this is Puxatawny. You see Fatback, all the acrobatics he's doing in that backyard, jumping fences with that long back.
Oh my!
And running around the backyard.
Yes.
He's out here. He might really be 137.
I would be surprised if he was that old. He just has so much youthful vigor to him. You know what I mean?
How else would you get to 137 if you ain't got that fire in you?
You know what? I think if nothing else, Fatback was at the event because they be having an event.
like Gen Pop.
I think he's part of maybe part of the elite, the top 1%.
A VIC, if you will.
A VIC. Gregory, please.
Okay.
But I do think that he's a part of the elite, no doubt. Yeah. So I think he was probably at that event that they have at the top of February to see like what's going to happen, see if the groundhog comes in or out or what have you. He was definitely there.
I'm arguing that it's him.
Okay.
Or they.
I don't know how we are going to confirm that, but that's all right.
Watch. Now that the event is done, the after parties is over.
Yeah.
That's a lit thing.
It's like award season. This is award season for the groundhog.
You're going to see him come back. I'm
excited to see him. I miss him.
But apparently, Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow. Is that right?
I think.
Oh, no, he did not.
He did not.
They did not see their shadow.
And as a result,
spring will arrive.
Springs. You know what? No, I believe that because today, on the day that we are filming, it is very warm. I went outside today and I'm like, it's very warm.
Yeah.
It's been cold these last couple of days, but there's a noticeable shift, so I think it's accurate.
So yeah, it's a good prediction.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have an early spring, y'all.
Fatback and Phil didn't lie. It is warm.
Yeah. I appreciate that because we need an earlier spring.
Yes, we did. Speaking of animals, as I was coming, because I told you earlier I went to go see my trainer.
Yeah.
As I was coming back, she's in I won't tell you all where she's at because y'all don't need to know my business, but she's somewhere in New Jersey.
Yeah, she's in New Jersey.
As I was coming back, I passed by a restaurant that really, the name of this restaurant really got my head spinning, and I kind of went down a spiral, and I want to talk to you about it. I passed by the Thirsty Turtle.
The Thirsty Turtle.
The Thirsty Turtle. Okay. And there's something about these restaurants that have adjective plus animal names that really is beginning to piss me off.
Why are you mad about that?
Because I don't want to go to the Thirsty Turtle. There's nothing about the Thirsty Turtle that serves energy. There's nothing about the Thirsty Turtle that lets me know there's going to be vibes. Like, what is that even?
Why is the turtle thirsty?
Why is the turtle thirsty?
And why are you advertising, emblazing this on the facade of your building?
And they have like a little logo of a little cartoon turtle. That doesn't give maturity and vibes to me. But I'm assuming it was a bar.
Yeah.
I don't know, but something about it made me think. You know, when we were in Orlando, there was the Drunken Mule.
Orlando had a
There
lot of
was the Ravenous Pig.
The Shaking Crab.
Well, that's up here. The Shaking Crab. And so I'm like, what is it with these names? And when are we going to stop doing that?
Orlando had Dapper Duck.
There was the Dapper Duck.
It was a bar.
Oh
on
my
Orange.
God. The Dapper Duck.
Dapper Duck. There was another one. Hammered Lamb.
That sounds like a description to a menu item.
I think it's the Mickey Mouse that's inspiring all these adjective animals.
No, because Mickey is the name of the mouse. Like, that's his name. Mickey is a name, not necessarily an adjective. Mickey doesn't describe anything. It's just who he is. You're Greg the man,
What
per
about
se.
Goofy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just
Please.
Hey, Goofy. A
That's
Goofy dog?
his name. That's his God-given name.
It's like Goofy Dog?
No, it's not Goofy Dog. It's just Goofy. That's his name.
Okay.
Follow along here.
Okay.
We're talking about the adjective. Thirsty is like an adjective. It's how you describe your noun. The noun being the turtle. Come on, follow me.
The shaking crab.
The shaking crab.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
It don't make sense. And I think in 2024 we need to retire it. Y'all need to come up with cooler names, like, I don't know, Celine, or I don't know, The Wake. Something else.
Another way they be naming stuff. I think, and you see this on I'm gonna say it's on Amazon.
Okay.
I think where they go for Nordic terminology, Swedish words for names of products.
Like what?
Like IKEA, how they name all their things, these random Nordic words.
Oh yeah, like Schlongun.
Yeah.
You be like, okay, yeah.
And I noticed a lot of Amazon products, which are like rinse and repeat products.
Yeah.
Like they have to give it a name.
Yeah.
They give them like Nordic names. Like you'll buy like a device in electronics.
Sure.
And it's called like the like Steedle. Like it'll have like weird names like that. Check it out. Like there's like random like Fiffin or Newer, like the lighting.
Okay.
We bought ring lights from them.
Oh, very true, very true.
Newer. It's like and these are from like Japanese or Asian companies.
They're onto something,
I think they just use those words. But I think you're onto something where the restaurants may need to let go of this like adjective animal.
Yeah, because what is the animal really like? For the Ravenous Pig, for example, in Orlando, they serve barbecue. So okay, did they wait? What's the Ravenous Pig? The barbecue place?
Yeah,
I think so.
But the word ravenous doesn't sit well with me. Why is
the pig so hungry?
That's what that means, ravenous. Hungry?
Yeah, ravenous is like you're extremely hungry.
Oh, okay. The one I think that should exist is a twerking crab.
Okay, the twerking crab.
That needs to be a thing. Because black women love a seafood boil.
We love a seafood boil.
Yeah, and then you put a little twerk on the crab.
You know what? Listen,
a little bit of music in the dining room.
I think the twerking crab is the black people version of the shaking crab. You know what I mean? Because the shaking crab, a lot of these crab boil places, little did y'all know, are run by the Asian community. Love that for them.
Yeah,
I think it's just, it's just a space where they primarily occupy. But wouldn't it be nice to have a black-owned one? That's the twerking crab.
The twerking crab. We need to start that in Atlanta, of course.
In Atlanta, of course, or Houston. I could.
You know how busy it would be if we opened the twerking crab in Atlanta?
What? Maybe that should be our next business venture.
Let's do it.
Y'all see in 2 years. Let's see where we at. But yeah, that's my vote. My vote is we don't do it no more. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, we need to let it go. The El Pollo Loco.
Yeah, let it go.
Even across languages.
Yeah.
Let's move forward into a future. And it was really noticeable in Orlando. I think all these restaurateurs, I think they went into a restaurant name generator.
Yeah.
That was just adjective animals.
I think that's literally what happened.
Let's
tired
move past
of
that. I'm aligned with you on that.
Thank you. We need a little more diversity. And I also think that came from a specific time where it was very brunch heavy, American, standard American fare.
Yeah.
And I think, I've seen a lot of innovation in the food space over the last couple of years. And I think by way of that, there'll probably come innovation in terms of naming conventions as well.
Yeah. Speaking of innovation, segue.
Segue.
Innovation in restaurant naming.
Period.
Tatiana.
We went to Tatiana, y'all.
We went to Tatiana.
We went to the Tatiana. And if you're not aware, do you want to break down to the people what Tatiana is, why we went?
So Tatiana is this new restaurant created by chef Kwame Onwuachi. Hopefully I'm not butchering that last name. And he's kind of risen to fame through the Top Chef arena. He's had a few other restaurants in the past. He's written a book called Notes from a Young Black Chef. That's pretty popular. He was given a James Beard Award for best new rising chef.
Very impressive.
In the year 2019. So he's been on a run. Like this PR has been growing. He was also named Best New Chef by Food and Wine. And he started this restaurant called Tatiana. And the naming of that restaurant it's named after his sister.
So sweet. So personal.
Yeah, and the story is that his sister, he spent a lot of time with his sister taking care of him while his mom was at work at a restaurant. And so she really inspired the food that he'd experienced growing up. So he named the restaurant Tatiana.
So sweet.
And Tatiana was titled the #1 restaurant in New York City.
Yes.
In 2020, I think 2.
Yeah. Just a couple years
So this place is popping, right?
Yeah,
It is on fire.
I had seen it all over TikTok.
Oh yeah?
I shouldn't say all over TikTok.
You recommended this place.
Yeah, so I wanted to go for my birthday because you guys know my birthday was a couple weeks ago. So I was like, we should go for my birthday.
Yeah.
Because I had seen the movers and shakers in Tatiana, and I am like so delusional. I have a delusional mindset that when I see people doing something fabulous, I assume I should also be there.
That FOMO hits in.
That FOMO hits in.
Yeah.
So I was like, Tatiana, this is the perfect opportunity to go for my birthday. And so Greg made it.
This.
Yeah, because I don't think Greg was fully aware of the restaurant at the time. And so Greg made it his mission to make sure that we went to Tatiana. And it was a lot more difficult than I anticipated.
Yeah. And what Bean wants, Bean gets.
Oh, thank you, honey.
So I went after it like a madman because the reservations were near impossible to get.
Yeah, it was really hard to get a reservation. And even when you guys remember we went to Pasta Ramen in Montclair, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I thought that was difficult to get into. Oh no, Tatiana is 10 times, level. Like maybe even 20 times harder to get into. It was very difficult.
So they only book reservations like I think 28 days in advance. So every day new bookings open up for 28 days later. And so I was like, okay, cool. And then they will open up at noon. So I put my alarm on my phone and then would line up and get ready to go. So the alarm would go off. I'd open my phone. Immediately at noon, I'm in there. Boom, boom, pick dates, party of 2. Whatever time is available, I'm just picking it.
Yeah.
And every time I would tap the time, by the time I get through to hit confirm or reserve, it's already booked.
Yeah, it was crazy.
In mere seconds, it would happen. And then I switch my strategy. I'll go on my computer and do it. And then again, same thing. Seconds later, they would be gone. And I keep doing this. And then I got so desperate, I was looking up bots for this. And then there was one bot that you could do that, and Tatiana was on it. And I was like, that's why they're all getting booked. People are using bots. And then
because they would when he says seconds, he literally means we would log on at 12 o'clock to book, and by 12, not even 12:01, 12
in 15
minutes and 15 seconds, all the reservations for the evening were gone. It was scary.
Yeah. So then I kind of gave up. And then I went, and then like a few days I went back to check. And I noticed Tatiana was not on it, on the bots anymore.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe that means now people got to really be in there with their thumbs and their mouses clicking. So then I lined up again, went in, a spot came up, 9:45 on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday.
I took it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, we in there. And so we get there, 9:45. I was kind of nervous.
It was late. It was late that evening.
Am I gonna be awake throughout this?
I took a whole nap. I came home from work, took a nap, and then got ready to go, which was fun. And then we got there. It's actually connected to the Lincoln Center. So if you guys have not been to the Lincoln Center, we hadn't been to a performance or anything at the Lincoln Center, but we were familiar with it. It's literally like in that plaza area.
David Geffen Hall.
Yes, it's in David Geffen Hall.
Yeah.
And it is really an interesting atmosphere. We walked in, obviously really low lighting, notes of blue, pink, and purple were kind of uplit in the space. And immediately you walk in and they're playing like hip hop and black R&B classics from like the late 90s, early 2000s. And I'm like, oh, well, we're about to have a good time.
Yeah, and that's like, we're at home. I feel seen.
We're supposed to be here.
Yeah. And this all throughout, the vibes were immaculate. The beautiful black and brown faces around us was inspiring.
It was.
To be in a room with fellow peers in that regard.
Yeah.
And then the food starts coming out.
Woo! And can I just say, first of all, the menu is exactly what you would think it would be from a millennial Black chef, and that it really was Afro-Caribbean focused. There was oxtail on the menu, there was shrimp on the menu,
Yeah.
there was egusi inspired items on the menu, lots of seafood, like all chicken, fried fish, like, but elevated, obviously. But all of those kind of core pieces of the African diasporic food experience were on the menu.
Yeah, very Afro-Caribbean inspired. You know, he basically pulls from influences around New York City as well.
Yes.
So just imagine the mosaic that is New York City, and then having a strong Afro-Caribbean foundation, and then you incorporate elements from New York City.
Yeah.
Which is where the magic happens.
Yeah, that's where things get cool.
And I think that's what really moved it from, a Caribbean restaurant to like a #1 restaurant in New York City.
Agreed.
Because it was such a reflection of the landscape. Most notably, I love the influences of the Asian cuisine into the food. So like to start, there's a lot of starters.
Oh yeah, because y'all know when we eat. So sit tight, buckle up.
Yeah. And at the end of this, we'll give you a tip as to how to get in.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the first thing we had was the oxtail and crab rangoon.
Yes, oxtail and crab rangoon were our first appetizer. Yeah. We got 3 of them, and they were delightful.
Yeah, it was a great we're doing this. Huh?
Yeah, and might I add, for the record, you guys know I'm not a meat eater, but when we're having experiences, I'm eating all the things. I do not care. So the oxtail and crab rangoon, I don't think I've had oxtail. I know, don't come for me. I haven't had the opportunity to have full blown oxtails before.
What you mean you?
Yeah,
you never had oxtails?
No, whenever you eat them, I just get something else.
Let me tell you one thing.
And I've been on my pescatarian way for 12 years, and oxtails were just not a part of my upbringing as a child. So I didn't do it. Oh, there's no way around it. I didn't do it.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. If I have a plate of oxtails in front of me, I am not offering up.
Right, which is why I've never had it.
I'm not gonna offer. I'm not gonna be like, want to share?
Yeah,
split? No oxtails. No.
No, I always get the shrimp. You always get the oxtail at any sort of Jamaican spot. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But anyway, so these oxtail and crab rangoon, baby, them things was good.
They were good. The wrapping, and there's another wrapping
light.
We had appetizer we had after this. But the wrapping had a nice fresh pop to it. You know when you get that pop of a wrapping from a nice good quality pop.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't crack or it doesn't just crumble.
No, there's a little bit of give there.
Stretchiness to the texture of that pop. And that blend of flavors was so unique.
It was. And you could taste each of those ingredients. You could vividly taste the oxtail. You could vividly taste the crab. They were perfectly blended together. And it came in this sort of sweet, savory sauce at the bottom. I'm nobody's chef, so I can't describe what it was exactly, but just know that it was a life-changing experience. And that was #1. That's the first thing we ate.
And in my mind, I didn't even think crab and oxtails would work.
Yeah, never.
Together.
Never.
It created a really interesting blend of flavors that I thought was I love when I have a dining experience and I'm experiencing something new.
Yeah.
Because
that's the whole point.
It's a pretty finite list of ingredients, edible ingredients on Earth.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So to have new interpretations of that was really interesting and
I agree.
And fun.
It's very good.
The next thing we had was the egusi dumplings.
Oh, honey. Now those were delightful. Delightful.
Oh my goodness. How do you describe that other than saying that it was like a nice warm hug?
Yeah, it definitely was like a nice warm hug. A little spicy. Nice warm hug. Again, this was an experience for me. I have not had egusi soup or anything before. I've heard of it. I've seen people eat it, but I've never had it myself. So to have this in dumpling form was a beautiful introduction to the culture in that way. And it was good.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that the whole time. It's good. But what I mean by that is that pleasant, very well put together. There was a thicker sort of sauce on the bottom, but the dumpling itself, similar to the crab rangoon, perfectly cooked, had a lot of give to it. The perfect sort of chew that you want out of a dumpling. And then a little spicy, which I enjoy in most of my food. Right. So I thought it was great.
Yeah, so strong West African notes underneath it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can taste the culture.
Yeah, very layered in terms of the flavor, not one note in any way. Very
Yeah,
good.
that was fun, and I'm glad we
Mm-hmm.
didn't do that out the gate.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had a little like setup with
Mm-hmm.
the crab oxtails and crab
It was a
rangoon,
good start.
then jumping into the egusi dumplings,
Mm-hmm.
which really like brought us to another
Yeah,
level.
and I was like, oh yeah, so this is about to it's going to get better,
Right.
and it absolutely did.
And then after that, we're
Mm-hmm.
still in appetizer mode,
Mm-hmm.
but two dishes come
Yeah.
side by side,
Yep.
which were like a great like level setting
Mm-hmm.
for us to get into our entrees. It
Agreed.
was the Piri salad,
Oh my gosh, that was my
the honey nut Piri salad.
favorite.
It was sweet
My
and
favorite.
fresh
Mm-hmm.
and bright.
Mm-hmm.
And then sitting alongside that
Mm-hmm.
was the crispy okra,
Oh, okay.
which was also sweet but super savory,
Yeah.
and the texture on that crispy okra
Mm-hmm.
out of control.
Out of control. Very beautiful. I wanted the crispy okra in particular because okra is very much a part of our upbringing. I think you too have had okra as part of your
Yeah,
cultural food. But okra, as I've eaten it in the past, has either been fried in cornmeal,
which is good. I love
which is
that.
delicious, or it's in some sort of soup. My mom would
Oh,
sometimes put it in like a
which I
tomato stew or something like that.
I hate that.
So I didn't mind it. Over rice, very delicious
I've
to
never
me.
been a fan of stewed okra.
Yeah, people don't like the consistency of it. I
Yeah.
didn't mind it. But this fried okra, honey, it's different. It almost felt flash fried, so not at all cornmeal battered. It almost felt like, you guys know how you get like a tempura battered something, a light tempura. It almost felt like that, but I'm almost sure that wasn't what it was.
It is in cornmeal.
Oh, it is.
Cornmeal,
Okay. Well, maybe not my mama's cornmeal. A
It
different
wasn't
type of
heavy.
cornmeal. Yeah, it wasn't
like
heavy.
it wasn't noticeable, and they were cut long ways.
Not like
So
the round way that
right,
you usually get them.
they were amazing,
And they were in the sweet savory sauce.
the sweet sticky sauce.
Oh my God. It's like,
Oh,
Lord, take me now. And then
this
the piri salad.
the Piri salad. I couldn't have enough of that.
I
It
wanted
was
more.
in this like sweet I don't know what you call it, a reduction,
A bre-
if you will.
We're gonna say reduction
Let's
because
call
that
it a
sounds right.
reduction,
That
'cause this
sounds
started from
right.
something big and was
Yeah.
boiled down to something
That's a reduction.
intense and robust.
That's yeah.
But it was so delicious and fresh, and it was such a good like companion to that crispy okra, which was very like savory and had that sweetness to it. But the savoriness was up there, and then have that piri salad sitting alongside with that sauce or juice or reduction. Delightful.
Very good. If you guys are familiar, the piri salad to me was uber comforting to me because again, you guys know I'm a Southern girl. My parents are Southern people. And so there is like a cucumber tomato salad that shows up in the South often. It's a vinegar based sort of salad that there's different variations that you'll see across the South. It's usually a summer thing that, people will throw together. It reminded me of that because it had cucumber, it had tomato. And what made it interesting is that they added gooseberries to it, which were these little kind of sweet pops of something in there. There was a little sprinkle of quinoa on top, and then the reduction that Greg is talking about. So it was nostalgic for me in that way, but then it took the memory of this dish and like elevated it to another
so
level. It was delicious.
Yeah, and this is a sign to me that something's really good when we're sharing a dish.
Yeah.
Is when like I'm kind of getting like anxious that you're gonna eat more of the dish.
Is that how you felt?
So I have this like small battle in my head of like, make sure I get a bite for bite. This is gonna be fair.
You were kind of fighting me now that I look back on it. We were like the spoons
were crossing and clanking. But this is the thing you always do, which bless your heart.
Yeah.
At the end you go, you could have that last bite.
Yeah, I let Greg have the last bite of almost everything.
And then I go, are you sure?
Yeah, it's a game. At this point, it's a game. He knows he's getting the last part. I know I'm going to give it to him, but it's like, it's pleasantries in the marriage.
Let's split this one bite.
No, it's for you, honey. No, that's for you.
There's 2 kernels of rice. You get 1 kernel, I get 1 kernel. Meanwhile, I'm like desperately trying to make sure I get a fair share.
And I know that, so I let you
That's
have
how I
the
know
last
that dish
piece of
was
everything.
hitting. When I get that
very
carnal anxiety for inadequate serving.
It was so good.
And then the entrees come out.
The entrees came out, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I looked at the menu, I thought I was gonna get something called the crab boil or the seafood boil.
Yeah. Naturally,
right? Because
that's your lane.
that's my life.
Yeah.
But the only seafood item that they had, well, they had a fried fish, a fried branzino, which I saw somebody else get look very good. But I ended up getting what was called
Mom Duke's shrimp.
Mom Duke's shrimp.
Which it is heavily documented on the website. You guys have to see this photo on Tatiana
I'm so
website.
stressed even recounting this experience.
Let's start with the most obvious thing, which is 3 massive prawns.
These prawns were literally the size of my hand, and I'm not joking. If you're watching us on YouTube, this is my hand.
That's the prawn.
This is the prawn.
Times 3.
I had 3 of these. They looked like lobsters. They looked like lobsters, but they were prawns.
Head on.
Which
means more flavor.
Yes, tail on.
Tail on.
Oh my God.
You got a handle to hold on to take a bite.
Oh my God. And they came in this rich garlic thick butter sauce.
A roux, if you will.
And then
it was grilled. It had a smoky charcoal grilled flavor all throughout.
I wanted to cry. It was so delicious. So perfectly grilled. That little bit of char. That paired with the garlic butter sauce. It was a thick sauce, y'all. Like, I'm going up. It was thick. And then, because there was so much sauce, they gave you 4 pieces of what, to me, are Texas toast, but I'm sure it's more edited than that.
They're brioches.
Thank you. To dip.
Sop up the soup.
I can't even talk.
To sop up the soup.
Oh, my God.
It was out of control.
I'm speechless yet again.
I've never seen prawns. I didn't know prawns could come. I didn't know they came that big.
I'm like, it's either a prawn or a lobster, but this is somewhere in between. I don't know what this is.
It must be lab grown.
And I didn't care.
It was amazing.
That thing could have come from the land of Avatar, and I would have still eaten that prawn.
That was next level.
So that's what I had.
Ooh, man, can we just sit on that for a moment?
That was delightful. But go ahead.
Because and this is one thing I loved about this restaurant. They didn't hold back on the sauce. You know, you've been to restaurants where you have some sauce, but it's like
not for real.
You kind of wish it was more.
Yeah.
They didn't hold back.
Everything was saucy. Everything was savory and deeply. You felt like you know how like you cook something very quickly and the flavors are there, but the flavors haven't ruminated for maximum impact. You feel me?
Yeah.
These sauces had been ruminating in the back for some time. At least it felt like that. Like it felt like whatever happened in the kitchen that morning blessed my soul by the time we got there at 9:45.
Oh yeah.
It was so good.
They started cooking early. Because the flavors were flavoring.
And I mean, if I had to put money on it, somebody's grandma's spirit is back there guiding them with the seasoning because it was out of this world.
They were blessed.
My God.
Yes.
And you had
oh boy. Oh my goodness. I had the oxtails. I had the oxtails, y'all. I had the braised oxtails that came with a side of the most delicate and fluffy rice and peas.
I took a little bit of the rice and it was very much like snow. It was fluffy as snow.
I have never had rice and peas that fluffy.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
That's another level of they doing something back there, something different.
Witchcraft and wizardry for sure.
Something's going on back there because usually like rice and peas is like they're pretty kind of dense and like to the point where like they're clumpy together. The rice naturally with the starches of the rice probably holding all the pieces, the grains together. But this one was really fluffy and it was really pleasant. And it was a good companion to the braised oxtails because the braised oxtail was in this like almost molasses-like stew.
Hey, nah.
And likewise to your prawns, they were the largest pieces of oxtails I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, when I saw them, I was like,
I've had a lot of oxtails.
You had, and I don't think they were fatty either. I think those were meaty oxtail.
Okay, so for those on on YouTube, each chunk is about this big, and there's a photo of it online too. So check it out. There's about this big, and we're also going to post our
we'll share
our visuals. Pieces this big, this wide.
We're talking about the cross section,
and then just a ribbon of oxtail meat. A ribbon.
A ribbon of oxtail meat.
A ribbon of oxtail meat.
My God, today.
So to those fellow oxtail enthusiasts that can hear me as far as my voice can go, you guys know what I'm talking about. When you have a clean ribbon of oxtail that just falls off the bone.
Wow.
It was delightful.
World
And at
changing.
this point, I was so full, I didn't want to rush myself.
Yeah.
I only ate 2 out of the 5 pieces
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted that oxtail to sit for leftovers the next day.
And that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Now, I cleared my prawns, to be clear. Ain't nothing come home with me.
Your prawns.
Oh, that's true. Because again, like I wanted him to try. But the other 2 that again were the size of baby lobsters.
Yeah.
I cleared that.
Man, them oxtails, them prawns.
Mm.
So good. And it was like a sweet for the oxtails. It was like a sweet, sugary, like it was very sticky and tacky, molasses like stew that it was sitting in that was like caramelized.
Yeah. I tasted your gravy and it was good.
Yeah, that gravy was like caramelized over the and then they also incorporated the gooseberries in there too.
Yeah, the gooseberries were in there too.
So that sweet was right there, right up front with that savory roux. And I had to ask for a glass of a cab to accompany this this beef because man, and the cab did accompany it very well.
Oh, good. I'm glad you look like you
because he
enjoyed
made
it.
a little bit of red on that.
Yeah,
a red wine
something
to
to cut through.
Delicious.
Very good, honey.
Delicious. We can go on for days about
that
this.
Was such
that
an
meal
experience.
Was amazing.
I'm glad we were able to go for a number of reasons. One, because I mean we're foodies, and so going to a place like that is just right up our alley. But I think it's also good to be witness to, you know, your generation's up and coming talents at their peak or what is their rise and all that kind of stuff. Chef Kwame is an example of a young Black millennial who is making waves. He feels very much to me like connected to our culture, our generation, and what it represents, and very much who we are as people in this time. So it was cool to be a witness to that because you know this is literally a moment in time. Who knows where his career is going to take him? So be able to support and show up, and then, you know, to Greg's point at the very beginning, being in the space with other Black people who are just beautiful and shiny. And might I add, Yvonne Orji was in the room.
Yeah.
Yvonne Orji was there at dinner as well. Not with us, but she was indeed at dinner.
I'm telling people she was with us.
Okay, Yvonne Orji was at dinner with us.
It was just
at
a very
Tatiana.
big table that was separated.
Yeah, that's it. But she was there.
But it felt good to be seen. I felt seen.
I did too. The music.
This was like the culmination of our generation.
Yeah.
In a room surrounding food.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so on brand for us. The music, the ambiance, the staff, the service, the
vibe.
The food. The drink. I had a nutcracker cocktail.
Yeah.
Like, and it was delicious. Like,
and I had a non-alcoholic virgin pineapple daiquiri.
Yeah.
That had like pineapple essence or something in it.
It was good.
Very
and
good.
Foam, a little bit of foam.
It was a little bit of foam. I loved it.
But yeah, it felt great to be seen. You know, I felt like just getting up and swag surfing with everybody in there.
I know.
I felt like this. We're all a family, and it was a great moment. So definitely, if you guys get a chance to check it out, try to go to it. The cheat code that I alluded to at the beginning is, let's say you don't have a reservation, pull up, go to the bar.
Yeah.
Go to the bar.
Yeah.
Those are not reserved. You know, if you come in a little late or early, you'll probably be able to snag a seat at the bar. Definitely try to do that. I found that the bar is emptier later in the night because we went at 9:45.
Yeah, it was very.
So late. I'm pretty sure if you pull up at 9:30, you could probably get a spot at the bar because these people came in with us.
Yeah, and got a seat
at the bar too. Yeah, and it's the same. You get the full menu at the bar as well.
And you get to see, I think you're closer to the kitchen and the people doing the work. So if you care, some people care to see what's happening back there.
Yeah.
That's a good way to be a part of the mix and all that jazz.
But man, what I call it like a well-orchestrated performance.
Yeah.
That's happening in that kitchen.
Yeah, very
Conducted by Chef Kwame Onwuachi.
Yeah. And what a way to catapult ourselves into Black History Month. We went on the last day of the month, January. And by the time we got home, it was February the 1st. So, I mean, happy Black History Month to us.
Yep. Definitely. And it was great to start with some Black excellence.
Absolutely. Which leads me to the Things We Love. Everyone's favorite segment. Shimmer, shimmer, shimmer. Pew, 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 pew. We're at that point in the episode, guys. And in honor of the start of Black History Month, We are going to be sharing with you guys. Oh, and not only Black History Month, but specifically for this episode, the Black Millennial Experience and sort of that vibe.
Yeah.
We're going to be giving you some of our favorite Black owned brands and or products.
That's right.
All right. You want to start off, hon?
Oh, sure.
Or I can. You are ready?
It's not a product.
Yeah.
I guess it is a product.
Yeah, go for it.
You can consume it. But the thing I love, which I recently discovered, is the television show Abbott Elementary.
Oh, Abbott Elementary is so freaking funny, yo.
Created by Quinta Brunson.
Yes.
That is a Black-owned brand.
She is a Black-owned brand. And
that show is amazing.
And is.
So if you haven't had a chance to see Abbott Elementary, it's great. The writing is so sharp.
Yeah.
It's like you're too busy laughing at the last joke, you'll be missing another joke while laughing at the last one. That's how like tight and compact the writing is.
Yeah.
Amazing writers out there. And the references, like we feel seen.
Yeah.
Like it's like Black millennial references as well
is.
in that. I guess the shared Black experience, the references on that show. Most notably like when he got his girlfriend the Teflon bag.
The Telfar
bag. See, they're mixing me up because
they call it Teflon.
They call it's like it's the Teflon bag, and that would crack me up. But that's a great show. The character on there name with whom I share a name with,
Gregory.
If anyone has seen this show, and if you guys know me, it's a little scary.
It's eerily similar.
And how like. Is that how I am?
And sometimes I'm like, yeah. The Gregorys are Gregging.
He's like this. He's the guy. I forgot his name. Tyler or something. William.
Oh, everybody hates Chris. Yeah. Y'all know the guy.
Yeah, he's now this character Gregory, a teacher there, and he is like very monotone.
Yep.
He has a deep voice like me, and super awkward with people sometimes, and finds himself in these positions of just saying the wrong things, which I'm like, this looks very eerily familiar.
It's so funny.
And we share the same name.
Yeah.
So check that show out.
The Gregs are Gregging.
Yeah, the Gregs are Gregging. But I do seriously have a thing I love. It is Harlem Candle Company.
Oh,
Black-owned candle company, which
yes.
you've purchased a few of their scents, which is they have amazing offering that's like jazz inspired candle scents.
Yeah.
Harlem Candle Co. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard of them. They've been pretty popular for a while.
Yeah, a number of years now.
Yeah, started by Terry Jackson in her own kitchen, and she started this brand in 2014. But yeah, there's this mix. It's a beautiful blend of jazz, Harlem vibes, and great scents that come together in these products. But yeah, it's pretty recognizable. She has really nice vessels for the brand, and everything is named. Like I think there's like I don't want to mess this up, but isn't there like a Langston Hughes?
Yeah, so
there's like different jazz.
So the candles are named after artists of that era. So there's a Duke Ellington candle, there's a Langston Hughes candle, all of famous creators from that time.
And they have this new Speakeasy diffuser set that you can purchase. So we'll put a link below. We're scent enthusiasts.
Very much so.
We love to have a nice fragrance in our home or on our persons. But that's a good one to check out for this Black History Month. Support the brand, Harlem Candle Company.
I love that. And so it's so funny that you mentioned candles because I'm also going to mention the candle company as my. But the difference is going to be, and I'm glad we're doing this, is that Harlem Candle Co. to me, you're going to get a lot of Palo Santo scents. You're going to get a lot of like oud, wood, leather, oak. Like Harlem Candle Company gives you that sort of essence, right?
Yeah, definitely like jazz inspired.
Yeah, very more prominent sense. Well, this particular candle company that I'm going to talk to you about is called Loam, Loam. It was founded by Jessica White, who is an urban farmer in LA. And so her candles are inspired by nature and gardening and all the things that you can experience out in the world. So these candles are going to be a lot lighter. They're going to be, again, inspired by the earth themselves. So some of the scents that you'll find are something called citrus season, an herb bed, full bloom. So a lot more floral, a lot more citrusy. So if you're not a person who leans into the more, I would say, robust scents, then try Loam out. because it's definitely something that I think is a crowd pleaser across the board.
Yeah.
We just so happen to like deeper, intense scents, but I know some people don't. And so Loam is definitely a candle company that you should support. And I love the idea of urban farmers as well. Like
Yeah.
a young woman being in urban farming and that being that's amazing.
I love that.
That's great work. So Loam,
What's
check
that?
them out.
Loam. Okay.
LOAM.
Yeah, we have to get some of this
Loamcandles.com.
scents. Have you had it? Have you purchased any for the house?
We've had one.
Oh, you had
I've
one?
had one in my office. I've had citrus season, I believe.
Yeah. Is it like a single wick, double wick? How
Single
big?
wick. These are single wick candles
Okay.
only at the time. Hopefully they'll expand in the future, but single wick for now.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got another one.
Go for it.
My next thing I love,
Mm-hmm.
Black History Month edition, is Claude Home.
Mm-hmm.
ClaudeHome.com.
Yeah.
It was founded by Maggie Holiday.
Mm.
It's essentially an online gallery
Okay.
of unique home goods.
Mm-hmm.
And it's essentially a curation
Mm-hmm.
of different products and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
From furniture to decor. It's some of the most unique stuff I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
That is like really truly like designer products. Like it's all about the design of the thing, as opposed to like, some furniture companies, its function is very obvious, and
Sure.
appealing to the masses is another thing you'll see with a lot of the popular brands like CB2
Mm-hmm.
and what's the other one? Crate and Barrel
Yep.
or West Elm.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, if you want like a statement piece of furnishing
Mm-hmm.
that is designed and it provides conflict or in the vibes of the breaking up the monotony.
Yep.
Definitely Claude Home is one you should check out.
Nice.
Put a link in the show notes to check them out. But they have great pieces that are truly like that like really bring the wow factor into the home. So check them out.
Love that. I think we should look into them for when we're, updating not only the basement but also like the bedroom maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe there's some things we could tap into.
for sure.
Love, love. All right. Well, I have one more, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
This one is a book or really a guide that I bought recently that I'm still digging into. You guys know I'm on a life journey of like inner healing and really being careful with what I put into my body.
Okay.
And I've been talking to my sister a lot about like, again, traditional Chinese medicine and this idea of like cultures really being connected to nature, what nature has to provide as a way of healing us, like food being our medicine, but by way of that, what nature has to produce. And so this one book that I'm exploring is called African American Herbalism, a practical guide to healing plants and folk traditions.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm interested to dig into it a little bit more. I've just started it. It just came from Amazon, which is where you guys can find it too. I'll share a link, but it's really exploring this idea of things that are native to us from a tradition perspective, but also from an herb perspective, what the earth again is providing in ways that we can incorporate that into our lifestyle, either through teas or through ointments that we're making at home and things like that in order to heal the body. Because I think I'm just very aware of the fact that, like, every time I need a headache, I probably don't need to take an aspirin, right?
Sure.
Maybe there's something else that's more naturally derived that'll give me similar effects that's better for my body long term. And I just want to be aware of what those things are. And so that's just part of my personal journey, and I wanted to share it with you guys in case you're interested. Again, it's called African American Herbalism, a practical guide to healing plants and folk traditions.
Okay. And is this more of a reference, or is it a book you'd read to learn and have that in your mind?
It's a book to read and learn and have into your mind. At least so far from what I've seen. So it's literally a guide. It's literally going to have recipes, understanding of plant names and what they do and how to use them. A very practical guide for those sorts of things. And I'm excited to learn and maybe share with you guys.
Yeah, bring it to the center of the house because I like to check it out too.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do.
Yeah. I got one last one.
Okay, go for it.
Honorable mention of thing I love for Black History Month is Bolé Road, which is an Ethiopian brand that has hand-woven textiles.
I love that.
It's all textiles.
Okay.
The entire website, everything they offer is textiles. So that's like towels, rugs or throws and things like that. And they're all made by hand in Ethiopia. And the thing I love particularly from the website is a wall hanging textile.
Mm-hmm.
And as we talked about, we've been talking about the diversity of wall decor,
Mm-hmm.
from paintings
Mm-hmm.
to picture photography to sculptures
Mm-hmm.
and structural things.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, there's a textile thing
That's
that you
nice.
can support on a hanging rod.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the one I'm gonna link is this really beautiful one that has this very geometric patterning
Mm-hmm.
and then like a fading of grays and light blues in
Mm-hmm.
it. And it looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
And it's like something you can hang up maybe above a bed or hang it as on a feature wall or of some sort, to add a little bit dimensionality
I
to your
love
space.
that. How
Yeah, it's
nice.
called the Bale wall hanging,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll drop the link below.
Love that.
Well, yeah, so those were the things we love, right?
Things we love, yes. And I hope you guys check them out again. These are going to be linked in the show notes. But if you guys also want to follow us outside of, where we are you got audioly. Ooh, we had this
Oral
conversation last
is
week.
a word.
It's orally.
AURAL.
Orally. You guys know we are on YouTube now. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We are all the places where you guys are looking for your content. So go ahead and find us there. Follow us, like us, leave us comments, leave us questions, any sort of thoughts that you have. And do not forget, on the Podcasters app by Spotify, you can also leave voice notes. You guys have been doing amazing with that. We absolutely love them. And we are going to be consistent with our listener letters as well, or our mail.
We got mail.
We got mail segment is going to be coming more consistently as well. So be sure to leave your questions and your notes so we can respond.
Yeah. So this was yet another episode of the Lovers and Things podcast. Keep loving the things.
And loving your people. It's so, so important.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.